Welcome to a new series, Banner Saga. This is one that's been on my radar for a while now. Let me turn down the volume just a smidge. Alright. This has been on my radar for a while now, and I played the demo and I really much enjoyed it. And after the end of Final Fantasy Tactics, I feel like this is as good a place as any to start back up. So, without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we?
Að sjá dreggjana á ferli meðal vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Komið í höllina miklu! Skýst ég leyfa oss að byggja! Hverfið á braut! Engan eigi ég hlut að máli þessu!
You've arrived just in time. The chieftain is in red and his men are now looking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. Drag around the screen to see your surroundings. Click the check mark to continue. These portraits show the order of initiative, taking turns from left to right. Your allies are blue, the enemy is red. It's your turn to act. Movement happens before action. This ring shows your shield bearer is active. The blue tiles around him show where he can move. Some characters fill more than others. Fill more tiles than others. The horned allies are a race of giants called Varl who take up 4 tiles each, while humans fill a single tile. This can have a huge impact on your strategy. Click the tile you want to move to, then click on the check mark to continue, or confirm. Move your shield banger here to get him into attack range. To target an enemy, click the tile on which they stand. Allied tiles are blue, the enemies are red. Target this enemy now by clicking his tile. You can choose to either attack the enemy's strength or break his armor. The numbers beneath each icon, 2 and 5, show the damage you'll do to that stat. Strength counts as both health and damage. A loss of 2 strength means you'll do 2 less damage. If strength falls to 0, the character falls in battle. Armor blocks strength damage but can be reduced by a break attack. By breaking armor, you open them up to take more damage in the future. This enemy has only 5 strength remaining. A strength attack will kill him. Click the fist now to attack his strength, and then confirm your choice. He's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking an action, your turn ends. Next up is the enemy. Turns always alternate, even if you are outnumbered. Despite being at full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your shield banger's high armor. Now it's your warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of those enemies, but all characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. By clicking on gold tiles, a character can move further than usual at the cost of 1 willpower per gold tile. Red pulsing tiles beneath your enemy show how close you'll have to get to be in range. Move your warhawk into attack range now. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but your warhawk has a special ability that gives him a unique advantage. Click on your warhawk's tile to access his ability. Clicking on your character's tile will bring up all of his combat options, including move, ability, attack, and end turn. I'm guessing move has already been used. Click on the purple ability icon now. The ability description appears in the tooltips below. The Warhawk's Tempest allows him to slam multiple enemies at once. Select an enemy and then confirm your choice. That made quick work of the chieftain's bodyguards. When there is only one enemy left, players enter pillage mode. During pillage, each character moves in order and there are no more guaranteed turns. Check the initiative to see how the order has changed. Your allies now get to move twice in a row. If a character does not move on his turn, he can rest to regain 1 willpower. The chieftain will rest on this turn. Looks like the chieftain is in some trouble. Your shield banger won't be able to finish the job with a normal attack, but willpower can be used to boost your damage. Click the chieftain's tile to attack. Click the fist and then the stars above the fist to add willpower. The number of stars available each turn are determined by your exertion stat. You'll see the damage number go up as you add willpower. Click a star and then the green check mark to kill this enemy. The foe is lying.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Only the sun has stopped. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric? Steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? It is. The governor tells me he'll be giving us a hand. Seems a bit chaotic around here, Eric. It's been worse. I've got a lot of irons in the fire. What does he want exactly? Scalfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. I was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-faced houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Hod, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. Scalfing's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Hod. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try and kill you this time. They don't talk to me. I had a change of heart. I hope you do give us a hard time. Hod sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everybody thinks I'm getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? Do I intimidate, pay, or do nothing? I'll be generous, I'll pay it. You toss a sliver of silver on the table. Both men look at you with surprise. Hod gestures meekly to a variety of junk from his stall. Take whatever you like. Only thing I'd like is the name of a place. Nobleman up by East Wall. That was months ago, last I know. Hod skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gunoff, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? Nope, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? You look like a frog. They look good. I'm glad you care. Gunoff goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. Blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be Scalfing. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall. Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of those skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Shouldn't we have an approach of some sort? What a luxury. Come on, you've already mopped the floor. Sorry, you've already mopped up worse today. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. To the meat house, I suppose. You arrive in front of what must be noblemen. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door. They ran into a meat house, says Valgard. I'll be surprised if they can stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of the table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken Scalfings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. I'm ready. I'm ready. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, and 4 of us. I like those odds because we got giants. Can I just wait? You have an axe, huh, Eric? I thought you had a bow for some reason. Also rest. Ah. Rude. Ow. Man, humans are weak. Oh no, they've put up their shields. What am I gonna do? I just murder them, I guess. Rude. They're not attacking my HP at all, they're just attacking my defense. Also, apologies if you hear the thunder in the background. What a legend. I keep getting achievements that popping up on the side. Good job. There they are. Gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's window onto the bay. A fleet of longships approaches with the sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Wagner. Sorry, one banner I know well, Wagner. Next for Varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guess. See what I deal with all day long? Things make a little more sense. He hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now, I have to make sure there's no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? No, Eric, I've done enough already. Or, what is it? If you happen to stall our guests down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Volgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. To the docks. Wagner. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there's Wagner, there must be Hakon. Is there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid, you old yawks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorander demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberrang, in fact. I'm glad for it. I can only see half of your face because my elbow is in the way. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolf heads emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visited his capital. We visited his capital. He visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? I had the distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but, let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few. Others are strange to you. Guess I'm off to find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Weariness suddenly settles in and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. I'm gonna talk to the prince. I don't like him already, but I'm gonna talk to him. Is this the right place? You find the prince at the inn. At an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes. You're with Wagner? I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? Oh, I don't like you. I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might talk about your visit. Oral historian. Don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting it throughout the cities. I've been on the road a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious, you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Wagner came to our capital in Aberrang, and now we go to the Varl's capital in Grofheim to cement the grand alliance for the next age of men in Varl. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it. And it's damn cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. Yeah. That seems about right. Scrivener! We find Hakon in the meat house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Wagner is the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha! Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yoxford, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through the dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the meat house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. It's nice out here. Anyway. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as you promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already here. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Moger steps forward, Wagner's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. We're ready. You follow Moger and join the others. Usually the small doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think. I just want to fight people. There's so much dialogue. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Moga, cracking open mead casks, from our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. Drink a little. Toast to Wagner, actually. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Varl. The others join in. Ludin's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually you sit down beside Wagner. Chat with Wagner. Thanks for the speech. Thank for the speech, slurs Wagner. Looks like you didn't have to mess out after all. Thanks to Moga. I thought the damn governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess for your benefit, it turns out. I'd have given the job to you too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Ludin? Hopefully the boy goes back to Aberrang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Huh. Don't you miss the fight, Ubin? You down your mead instead of replying. Wagner slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but this. Pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme behind the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, Wagner. Wagner stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. You rise groggily. A campsite of causality? The campsite a causalty of merriment. A casualty. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Mulger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking to your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Vognir. You're needed. Ah, it's Ludin. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Vognir releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Ah, we're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. This is the map of the world. You can explore it by dragging the mouse to pan and using the mouse wheel to zoom. It's a big world. And yet not that big. You want to go to the Plains of Slaughter sometime? That sounds like fun. The location of your caravan is listed here by Ubin's icon. The world map is covered with many locations and holds much lore. You can explore the map at any time clicking on locations for more information. Man, there's a lot of world. I don't know that I have the time to explore all of this. Alright, I think that's enough exploring the Wimmer world map for now. We head north, then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand, going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Ludin. Why not take the ships to Skyrmstead? Skrimmerstead. Sorry, so many words without consonants in them. Or at least not in places that you would expect them. What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skirmstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. So he goes, He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Vognir. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. He'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off, too. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Vognir. Let's get moving. Another half day to Verdfell, if we're lucky. Camp. Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip them in the hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve your caravan's morale. High morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any characters in a mock battle. Tap leave at the bottom of a campsite when you're ready to get back on the road. So this guy is ready to level up. I don't even know what this does. But they seem good. Since you can only have 2 of them, I would want them. Alright. Let's leave. I'd like to get one more fight before we played for an hour.
Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
By Hatterborg. That's a lot of Varl for some missing cattle. What? Couple days back, sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boy's seen men up in the hills carrying them away. Don't know many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. Scoffings out here, maybe? Could they have Varl working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to take a look around and get camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about the caravans. Darting about as the caravan sets up tents. We'll be here no more than a day. There's silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of Varl? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. Hear that? Where's Luden? It's faint. Sounds like fighting and something else. Hakon takes off at a run. Let's go. Finally some battle. Let's leave. You're about to get bodied, son. Oh, he's already bodied. No! Let's just stop that. Let's stop that. We did it. Trying to get yourself killed, Luden? What are you doing? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. You ever seen a dredge before, boy? What kind of idiot? Break their armor first. Where did they come from? We didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Wagner lies face down. The future Varl King lies motionless aside from a spreading pool of blood. Wagner's dead. Cut with keen-edged sword. It's Alan Wick. Where did that thing come from? Shh. Stay close. I think it saw us. Get him. We did it. Was that a dredge? Colette looks calm, but you can tell her heart is about to beat right out of her chest. It was. Let me see. Are you hurt? No, I'll be fine. When the dredge attacked your cart and the yaks bolted, it spilled most of your supplies. You can see more dark figures moving through trees when you glance in that direction. All that food. That's the last we were going to get before winter. What do we do? Don't run. Let me think. If we hurry, we can gather them before the more dredge appear. I can see them in the trees. Are you sure about this? No. We have to try. Be quick. Let calms the yaks while you frantically toss supplies back into the cart. More dredge emerge, but you manage to get the cart moving again before they can close in. The colossal figures slowly recede into the distance. Supplies represent food and other goods used to keep everyone alive on the road. When supplies are gone, people will start to die of starvation. The more people are in the caravan, the faster supplies will diminish. You can see how many days of supplies you have left on the travel display at the top of the screen. Most towns will have supplies to sell, as well as a few items.
I never expected to see the dredge with my own eyes. What happened in the north? Already we see more between the trees as we approach our home, and Alette grips my hand tight. We must find Ivor.
Ivor. The enormous Varl in question towers over the men in the training field. He squints as you approach. Already back, Huntmaster. Thought you'd be tomorrow. Dredge, everywhere. Dredge? How'd they manage through Greyhorn? Must have broken through the fort. The fighters nearby have stopped sparring. They gather around you. Damn it. They'll be here soon if they're not already. You hear screams from the outskirts. People are running towards the Great Hall. Ivor turns to one of the older boys in his group of fighters. Ejil, take Alette to the Great Hall. Tell the chieftain what's happening. The rest of your group gather up as many people as you can. Come on, Alette. No, wait. I want to help. Let them fight, Ivor. Want to invite some goats to help join us too. You're asking for dead kids. I won't let anything happen to her. They'll have to deal with it sooner or later, Ivor. What now? Ugh. Egil, keep your shield up. We'll just hold them off until everyone's inside, then figure out what to do next. More shouts draw your attention to some houses atop a nearby hill. Okay. Guess it's the houses then. Sure enough, dredge are gathering in number. Fear threatens to bubble over into panic. How long do we need to keep this up, you ask? Ivor shakes his head annoyingly. That's a bad sign. Sounds good. What's this? This is probably going to be the last one of this episode. attacks. This guy's kind of weak now. Ooh, 7 damage. He's dead. He's not dead. He's dead. There we go. Everyone's a manageable damage now. Get him. Get the big boy. Let's go. They're both promoted. Good job, Eagle. Combat can be unforgiving. Don't hesitate to change the difficulty of battle if it leaves you frustrated or you find yourself needing a tougher challenge. Use the options menu to change difficulty. Don't worry, you can change the difficulty at any time and it has no effect on the story or the choices you make. So why don't I just make it easy then? A black horde is forming at the tree line. Enough of this, says Ivor, glancing over his shoulder. We're going back, then adds, Rook, I'm doing one more check of the houses around here. See if you can find any more. As you turn to head back, a colossus appears around the side of the house. It silently looms over Alette. I'm gonna have to end this episode here. Stay tuned to figure out what we do.